What's up, everybody? My name's JB, the Ultimate Writer from the Fight Bros podcast. With me, as always, is my bro. What's up?
Kia ora everyone, Arnaru here for Fight Bros and Combat Sports New Zealand, and we're here to talk shit once more. How you doing, JB?
I'm very well, man. Yeah, great weekend. Nice day of fights. Nice night of fights last night as well.
Chair, I missed those. We had to have a party. Sorry about that, and I missed all the fighting last night, but I caught the fights today, and they were awesome as well.
Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah, today was brilliant. A lot has happened in the last 24, 48 hours. Should we kick off with the Australian card last night?
Yeah, the bro. I got an interview with him the other day. Kieran Joblin was not the main event. I think it was third main event. Oh, Coco, but we had Brogan as the Jules Jackal and a Greek dude or some shit. But I didn't catch any of that. I saw the results today, man. Did you see any of it or?
I saw the results today as well, but I did catch one of the results pretty much live. James Vakir, one of the Vakirs. Shout out to Will. What's up? And he finished his fight first round, so that was great. But yeah, there was a lot of Kiwis on there. It was almost 50% Kiwis on the card, and almost all of them came out with the win as well.
Wow, that says a lot, I guess, about Kiwi MMA. You know, almost ruling that Aussie show. That's fucking awesome to hear.
Yeah, tough weekend of sport for the Aussies, I think.
Let's keep that going.
So yeah, obviously Kieran Joblin wasn't quite you caught up with him. He was looking for a quick finish. Looks like it went to a unanimous decision there, which is great for the W. But how do you think he would have felt about going the full fight?
Yeah, like he said, we broke it down, and he has another fight in a couple of weeks to defend the title in another organisation. But the guy he was fighting, perhaps I can't remember now, but he only had 3 or 4 fights, whereas Kieran had 17 plus, and Kieran knew that guy was going to come out like balls to the wall and try and take Kieran's mana and try and take that, some of it's away. Whatever, take his name, use his name in the other guy's favour. So I guess he ground that out. I wish I could have seen it. I really wanted to watch that card, but I missed it, and I think I'll try and find it somewhere on the internet later on. But yeah, Kieran probably wouldn't be. I mean, of course, a KO in the first couple of minutes is how they want to do it, but it still takes away the W, man. And I saw he had his girlfriend there for the first time, supporting him, and that they had a great time together and took the W, so can't be too mad.
Yeah, that's right. No, that was a great interview. Kieran, just smack bang right in the middle of a weight cut, like in the bath, cutting weight.
Yeah, bro. Sweating and all, mate. And he was in quite a good mood, but
yeah. For someone who was doing what he's doing, like, dude, he didn't even, he's a very nice guy, Kieran Joblin, and yeah, we congratulate him on the W there. Obviously, 15 minutes is the second to least desirable outcome for most fighters, I'd say, and especially someone like Kieran who's a noted striker, and like you say, the circumstance with him wanting to finish it early so he can preserve himself for that fight in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I saw some pictures. They had a photographer there somewhere, and from the pictures, it looked like it was quite back and forth. There was one picture where the other dude had Kieran's back, almost in a rear naked, and then also pictures of Kieran in the same position, and then a few of them standing. So I really want to see that fight now. I'll try and find it later on.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, another winner obviously was Brogan Anderson. He finished it in the first few minutes. It was about the 3-minute mark, finished via TKO in the mount. So that's great news. Brogan Anderson, obviously quite a veteran of New Zealand MMA. And another veteran as well, Logan Price, was on that card, a Shuriken fighter, and he won by a decision as well. So it's great.
Yeah, that's massive news. I love to hear that. I'd love to hear that kind of news, and can't wait to see them all again.
Yeah. Moving on to other news, something I know that you enjoyed, and I myself. There was a appearance in Bellator.
An appearance, yeah. Wild Rory McDonald appeared in Bellator. He what was he? It was like a promotional, like a welcome to the company type thing. They walked him down the runway like a superstar that he is, and they hit him up while he was there, and he couldn't say to fight the best, and he couldn't say to test my skills because he. But what was his excuse to be there, bro?
He said there's many reasons, but straight out, Bellator gave him. It's probably a lot of reasons, but yeah, he said they gave him a deal that nobody could match. So that kind of alludes that he got a good contract, and also it alludes that the UFC weren't willing to match it potentially. So, obviously the UFC are money bags, so can't match and won't match, not quite the same thing.
No, not the same thing. I mean, he's been almost to the top of the mountain a few times, and just missed out. He was mentioning money in his last few fights, saying that he wanted that big payday to come. He was looking towards the end of his contract. I wish him all the best, and it speaks volumes of who's can they can look to other places to get that payday now, but. I think the UFC has looked at him and possibly thought that maybe he won't climb that mountain one more time. Maybe he's on a downward turn in his career, and he's only young, but he has been fighting since he was like 16 or some shit professionally, and they might be right.
Well, yeah. Exactly. He's one of the new generation. Even though he is a veteran among that new generation, he was, one of the first people that actually trained MMA as his first martial art, rather than being a jiu-jitsu or a karate or a boxing or a kickboxing guy. He came up on the mats training MMA, and his first fight was MMA. And I think one thing, in the age of McGregor and Diaz, where marketability gets you paid, I don't think Rory is a marketable fighter. Like, he's got a great skill set. He flies the flag for Canada, great country, but he's just not marketable, in comparison.
Yeah, you're right. He for hardcore, for us, he's very marked. Like, he's just a violent man, which is what we're looking for. But as for like a spokesperson for the company, or even someone you want to interview, to get, publicity and stuff, he's not the greatest. But I mean, he speaks with his fists and his feet. I just wish him all the best, and I can't wait to find out what that contract is worth, and hopefully we get to find out some numbers, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that'd be great if they do disclose that. He also went on to say that he is the king of welterweight, 170 pounds, and he said that he will also move on to be the king of middleweight as well. So he wants all the bouts. He wants to be a dual champion, dual division title holder, and yeah, he's basically put the entire Bellator roster in those divisions on notice. So, I'd love to see him do good, but as you've mentioned to me in the past, what about the Bendo effect?
Yeah, well, when Bendo went to Bellator, coming from, former champion in the UFC, everyone thought he was going to tear up. It didn't happen. Even his fight yesterday, I read reports. I didn't see it, but every report I read is that he was getting lit up before Patricio Pitbull, I think, one of those Pitbull brothers, broke his shin. They actually said he was about to get his ass kicked again, and now he is getting a title shot off that because he won. It speaks to the talent that is actually at Bellator, and that's a good thing. We might see Rory versus MVP, which is just a dream fight. It's a dream fight. Like, yeah, fuck, bring it.
Like, Rory's proven that he can hang some of the best strikers in the UFC, which are arguably some of the best in the world. But there's no argument that MVP can't be amongst that list as well. And if you just take a look at Eddie Alvarez, crossed over from the UFC, found his feet for a couple of fights, went for the title and took it convincingly. That is a testament to the Bellator talent, because he ruled Bellator for years as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's they got this money, like they're holding on to MVP. He's done an interview and he says Bellator for life. There's a few of them like that now. That Bellator brought them in and has looked after them. And Scott Coker is a guy that looks after people. He's the guy who brought he brought women's MMA into mainstream. The UFC took it from there.
Yep.
He knows what he's doing, man. And
Strikeforce guy, so he knows all about developing a brand, and. Man, like you look at Strikeforce, they were eventually absorbed by the UFC, and that was in the days where there was no competition. Like Strikeforce was second fiddle, but they were way second. Whereas now, Bellator being weekly, being on just on television rather than on pay-per-view for everything, it makes a difference. It means the audience is huge.
Yeah, man, it's huge, and. Only seems to be getting bigger, Picked up Rory, who's next, Let's have a look. Let's see.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to see the tide turn. Like, if you take it back to the old WWF versus WCW wrestling days, there's a funny meme which I'll chuck up, which has got Rory coming to the ring looking like Scott Hall from the NWO. But like, if you take it back to that era, like, it's interesting to see the tide go back the other way. Fighters going the other way. Bendo, we've talked about it in the past. He talks about how from one sponsor in Bellator in the fight before this, he made almost the entire amount that you make from the Reebok deal for a veteran like he was. So it's $15,000 was his ceiling under Reebok, and he made almost all of that from one sponsor in Bellator. So if you had 5 sponsors, you talked about Vitor in the past having Sky, everything. Man, these guys look like NASCAR racers, and they could be on millions. Well, $1 million. Well, you said he lost millions, so. Dude.
He said he lost millions when the Reebok deal came in. That was Vitor, obviously, a top dog as far as sponsorship pull goes. But yeah, man, what is it? 5 or 15? Even so, what? 5, I think, is the start, or even 2.5. Like, that's fuck all, man. You can get someone to, and that's only for a fight. Like, that's not every week or monthly. That's just fight night. Like, yeah. So one thing I saw today was Thug Rose bringing out her own embedded, following her in the camp. And the smart thing about that is she can have sponsors, and she can wear their gears and talk about those sponsors whenever she likes on there.
Affiliated to the, you're right.
You only got to wear Reebok in the cage, you know what I mean? So if fighters click onto that and start doing, their own media, which is not easy, but it can be done, you can throw all your sponsorship, put eyes on your sponsors that way.
Yeah, that's brilliant, man. Because sometimes some fighters have got huge potential reach themselves just through their own social media channels, as well as the media groups that they shack up with when they do these web series can also help with their exposure.
Exactly. I mean, Thug Rose is a prime example of she's just got that thing, the first time I saw her, and until now, man, I've always liked her style, her personality, and her fighting is awesome. So that's perfect for her, and I hope that if I was a fighter, I'd see that, and I'd go, oh man, I'll go get all these old sponsors back, man. I'll just fucking deck out in it. I'll go, do heaps of whatever, and I'll just wear all the sponsor shit, and I'll put one of these out every month or whatever.
Well, like, obviously Shale has a podcast, Alpha Male Radio, things like that. These are all things that UFC fighters have started to develop for themselves, which are outside of the UFC. So they have all the control. So I guess, to be honest, Joe Rogan Experience was kind of the blueprint for most of those guys.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of them doing it now. Brendan Schaub and the fight of the kid. He's making I don't even know what he said, but he said he's making 10 times what he used to do, getting punched in the face, and all he has to do is have fun every week. There's options out there, but yeah,
if you can use your star power smartly, then for those guys, UFC fighters, their household names, and fight fans will tune into things that have them on it. So that's great. It's great that the fighters have other options now rather than relying on the UFC for all of their earnings, because that is really just capping their earnings. And I remember Dana White at the time saying that the UFC get nothing out of the Reebok deal, but they used to get something out of the sponsorship before Reebok. Yeah, they used to charge royalties to the sponsors before the Reebok deal. So why would they give up any income at all? I don't buy that for a second.
No, that's the biggest fucking lie in the history of, well, not in the history, but recent times. Of course, they're getting paid by Reebok. That's fucking
it's ridiculous. Yeah, that's right. All right, so let's move on to something a little less gloomy, but today's results. Like, overall, I thought the card was another outstanding card. It was great from top to bottom for me. I really enjoyed it. My picks crashed and burned. They were terrible, but that's nothing new. So I thought it was great. I enjoyed... if I had to pick the best fight, like, I'm not a Paige Van Zandt fan, but for me, it was probably Paige Van Zandt's performance. She got a great finish. She looked comfortable in there. Quoting Lucas, she made Beck Rawlings dance with the stars, which I thought was funny. And yeah, it was a good performance from her. What about yourself? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, bro, I caught the main card. I had to work today, but I caught the main card. I thought she was fucking around, to be honest, throwing those spinny kicks, and I thought Beck was going to smash her face, and then I blinked and Beck was on the ground. It was a good. Your Paige did look, in hindsight, Paige did look really relaxed and confident, and looked like she had a game plan. There was a good fight
today. Like, if she hadn't have connected, it would have been. In hindsight, Paige looked like she was fucking around, throwing heaps of stupid spinny shit. She was stupid.
So bro, she did that one spinny to nowhere. I think even Beck goes, "What the fuck is we doing?"
Like, right, what? Yeah.
I think, I don't know if I'm the only one around that likes Rowdy Beck. I think she's great. Mother of two, fucking tries her best each and every man. I like her attitude. I like her fight in her. It's Paige at the moment.
I like the mongrel and Rowdy Beck.
Yeah, the mongrel. It's great, and I wish her all the best. But it was fucking brilliant. It was highlight reel shit. So we're going to be seeing that one for a while.
Yeah, for sure. Like, Paige Van Zandt, they already put a fire under her, and now they put a rocket under her for sure. Like, she must be so marketable. Imagine the Dancing with the Stars fans that she made from her time on there. So, that is a primetime show in every country it plays in. So, no doubt she got a lot more star power from that. She's someone, again, who potentially could start a little web series of her own, which would be highly popular.
Highly popular, wear fuck all, do whatever you do normally every day. I mean, it's gold.
Yeah, that's right. Marketing gold is just money, money, money for the UFC and for Paige Van Zandt. If she, the Alpha Male team know how to market themselves.
Sure, yeah, they know what they're doing. Uriah's an awesome businessman. He's got multiple businesses. He's got his own. He's got his own clothing line.
Yeah, as an entrepreneur and a business person, I have so much respect for him.
Yeah. The Maya backpack. We predicted it. You predicted it. I was hoping for more out of Condit, man. What can you say, mate? That's the Maya backpack.
Just disappointment, hey. Like, I'm disappointed for him. Did you see his comments afterwards, though?
Yeah, he's been. Yeah. See, he's got one foot out the door, man, and he has for like the last.
That's right.
Which since they reckon, injury, it's man. That's not a good thing to have. You're thinking about afterwards.
Brendan Schaub has spoken at length about it, and a lot of fighters. As soon as your focus is not wholly in that cage, you're fighting a losing battle, because if you don't concentrate when you're cooking dinner, like you'll burn dinner. If you don't concentrate when you're trying to fight for your life, then dude.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he trains 120% at all times. He's got the best camp in the world. And that was a hard fight for anyone. But like you say, is he 150% committed to fighting right now? No, but definitely not. He says it himself every time he talks.
Yeah, it's dangerous. It's a dangerous place to be for someone in the fight game. It's, you don't want to be putting yourself in the position where the way you win is by damaging your opponent when you're not thinking right. Some of his comments, he said, "I don't know if I have any business fighting at this level anymore." Dude, that is huge. He says, "I've been at this for a really long time. The pressure of kind of being one of the top guys for almost a decade." He said, "I love being involved in the sport. I don't know if I belong here anymore. We'll see." So,
you know who that sounds like? Good. That sounds like GSP before he left.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Fucking almost verbatim what GSP said, except he went out on top, but only just. I mean, he took 2 severe beatings before he walked out the door.
That's right.
Yeah. So I can kind of understand.
Yeah. Well, for sure, like the pressure of being at that level, like he says, just constantly, like, the pressure of just having a job, for fuck's sake, where you work 40 to 60 hours a week is tough enough. So imagine if your job was to train and then go out there and fight in front of the world and then suffer disappointment and loss in front of the world. If that's the way it goes, that would all be exhausting.
Yeah, especially with that fight that you won that title and you didn't get that decision in the back of your head for the rest of your life. Like he says he's, he says, that's the fight game, but we all know he could have won that fight, and to go out like that, I don't know, it must be hard. But maybe he'll go to Bellator and fight Rory again. Hey, I'll watch that.
Yeah, well, imagine if he did go to Bellator. I have no idea what his contract situation is like. This is when we need Lucas, but potentially anyone whose contract is starting to come up could end up in Bellator, but we'll see.
We'll see. What else happened today?
Lozon Miller. Jim Miller repeated the last fight, but I was gutted out. I'm a huge Joe Lozon fan. I love his work, and that fight, it was kind of the same as the first one, but could have gone either way. So I love Joe Lozon. I just love his energy. I love how he throws hard, grapples hard, dives on everything he sees, and just isn't afraid at all.
Yeah, both of them are warriors. Let's book that fight every year until they retire, and
dude, I will pay for
let's keep watching it. Yeah,
if we just call it the annual classic. And, just that's it. UFC annual every single year.
Yeah, you can't. Those 2 guys are great to watch, man. And today we was messaging each other about how much they potentially are earning for these great wars that they're putting themselves through, Yeah. I think I had a look. Lozon, was he at 200? He got paid $54K. To win, $54K to show, so $108 grand all up, which is not terrible.
No,
is that enough to?
But it's not the same if you
retire on later on.
Yeah, see, it's so dependent on your record, eh? Like, if you don't get the win money, then in a lot of cases, unless you're a main eventer, your show money is not amazing. Like 7-7 is like a rookie deal in the UFC. 7 to turn up on weight, 7 to win. Possible bonus in there if you blow people's socks off, but if you're on a rookie deal, you're more likely to be fighting on early prelims and prelims, which means there's every potential for the next 6 or 7 fights someone in there to steal your bonus. So it's tough, the way they've restricted your sponsorship potential as well, as we've touched on. It just means like some of these fighters might be getting $5,000 from Reebok, $7,000 to show up, nothing else.
Yeah, money is always a problem, isn't it, with these guys? They're just so, they put everything out there and risk everything, and they just should be paid more, all of them. But I don't know what the solution there is. He's obviously signed that contract, and he was willing to sign that contract at the time. I just want the best for these dudes to like fucking have fucking buckets full of cash when they retire, and for efforts like that Lauzon and Miller put on, they should be getting, I don't know, twice that, maybe 3 times.
Yeah, it's it's the money. If you compare professional mixed martial arts to any other sport, any other American professional sport, even professional combat sports, you look at the Glory money and look at the old K1 money and stuff. Boxing money, just boxing money is ridiculous. Like these guys are not making anywhere near that. Like you could throw any of the Brazilians who are not main card fighters into a list of people who are not going to retire with money, because people like even the number 1 ranked bantamweight, even high ranked bantamweight fighters, these guys are not going to make huge cash because they're not in popular divisions, and their champion is so dominant, like Dominic Cruz. So like, even someone like Dillashaw might not end up having enough money when he retires. If he just continues his slide now, who knows where he's going to end up.
Yes, this is true. It comes down to their how good they are with the money they get, I guess. Setting up a gym is a good option for these guys. I mean, any business venture is good, but I just want them to make more money. Give them more money, mate.
Yeah, the gym is the idea. Like Joe Lauzon has a gym. Obviously, a lot of fighters have gyms. Uriah Hall, Faber, that we've just spoken about. That's the ideal, because that's their strength. They can use the gym to work on their strengths and their careers and stuff. They can earn money. They can get the publicity, etc. So the gym is the ideal. It's just, not every UFC fighter can open a gym, unfortunately.
No, that's right.
Well, moving on to future fights, we got some Kiwis in action coming up shortly. Well, in the next month, there's a whole lot of Kiwis in action, but this Friday, being the one coming up in about 6 days, got our old bro that you caught up with recently, Ev Ting, and he's in action in ONE FC.
Yes, evil Ev Ting. Whoops. I mean, Ev E.T. Ting, taking on Rob Lucida. E.T. I would never say that to his face. Fuck. But he will be fighting. He's the main event for ONE FC, which is one of the bigger. I'd probably say, is that the biggest? Is it bigger than Legend? I'd say so. Yeah, it'd be the biggest.
It was huge when I caught up with him this week. He said it packs out like 10,000 plus. And people just going nuts. He said they have no idea what the UFC is, and like Ev and all those guys are superstars.
They have no idea what the UFC is over there. That's really interesting.
The UFC is. Like the UFC, like maybe a few of them do. He said, but he said there's effectively no UFC really, to be honest, in Malaysia and stuff.
Well, that's fantastic, really, because obviously the population over in those Asian countries is tremendous. Martial arts is a way of life for a lot of those dudes. So the talent pools are huge for them, and so we got Ev main eventing in his country of origin in Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, I think is the city, which is the capital, against Rob Lucida.
Aussie versus NZ.
Yeah, Aussie versus NZ again.
They've been trying to match this fight for a while, I believe. So it's going to be huge, man. I'm definitely going to grab that digital pass for that one and watch Ev in action. It's I generally buy every ONE FC that Ev's on. But yeah, it's great, man. I can't wait. I want to see him finish Rob Lucida. It should be a striking affair. These guys are definitely strikers first, so it'll be good. Get Ev another rung up the ladder, a bit closer to that rematch and hopefully this time for the title.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, like he won't get the rematch straight away, but this puts him into one more, maybe one more, That's and right. He can rematch Marat, whatever. Yeah, who's the champion in his division? Who he's lost to in every fight since and before that. So, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's doing well. He sounds great. He sounds very happy. Fighting for ONE FC, which biggest promotion in Asia. And yeah, I can't wait for that fight. I think it's going to be great. Coming up after that, other Kiwis in action. We got Kieran Joblin's fight that you talked about. Talk us through what you know about that.
All right, so yeah, Kieran is defending his lightweight title at Carnage in the Cage, Australian promotion. I forget who against. I should know that, but it's his second defense of that title, which is obviously you're the champ. You got to defend, and he's already has done that, but he'll be doing that again. So that's 2 weeks away, I believe, and we'll try and find a stream for that as well and pump that on the page. Just wishing all the best for Kieran.
Before that, you think?
Should I? Yeah. Should we catch him in the bath again? I'll go jump in the bath and wrap myself in some towels. I'll go, hey, bro. Yeah, why not? I mean, he's cool to talk to. He's really, I like how when you talk to Hooker, how he actually really loves talking about fighting. Kieran also likes talking about, I don't have to push him at all. He's like, yeah, this dude and his striking and this against this guy's BJJ. He really enjoys talking about the UFC also. So maybe just hit him up for some, just a quick chat.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, those guys are huge students of the game. The knowledge that they have just drips out of them. Is great to see, and it's awesome when you talk to someone who is also a huge fan. Because obviously we're massive fans ourselves, but those guys definitely students of the game. The technical knowledge is awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say, oh, I like this guy because he's a mad cunt, and this other guy's facing, and then Hooker and Joblin will be like, yeah, well, his southpaw fucking stance against this guy with a liver kick here and his reaches will be the deciding factors, and I'm like, that's what I meant to say.
That's what I said. Didn't I say he's going to waste this dude? That's exactly what you described, the dude getting wasted.
Yeah, it's nice to get that from someone who actually knows what they're talking about. Yeah, it's good.
Another Kiwi in action, Faith Van Duyn, women's MMA, a pillar of New Zealand women's MMA, fighting in Invicta in about 4 weeks' time. Fighting another fighter I like, Irene Aldana. So that one is a great fight. I'm going to be catching up with Faith in a couple of weeks for a quick interview with her, so that'll be good. She's always good to talk to and always has a lot to say, so that'll be good. Obviously, her last big fight, a lot of people would have seen, was versus Cyborg for the Invicta 145 title. That one didn't go her way, but awesome experience, I assume. So, you know, it's great to see her back in Invicta. They look after their fighters, so it's awesome.
Yeah, Victor, I've never heard a bad word about Invicta from anyone. You're right, the fight against Cyborg was a big test and didn't go well, but like being on that big stage against that, it's all experience, you know, under those lights, which can only help her. I like Faith. She's very like seems super down to earth and humble, and you know another. She's got a family, you know, and she still trains like 150%, and I hope she does well. I saw her asking for maybe a shot on the Melbourne UFC card. Just in the comment section on some page called Combat Sports New Zealand. But yeah, bro, I wish her all the best.
Yeah, well, you know, this could be the setup. Obviously, there's an affiliation between Invicta FC and the UFC now. Invicta being one of their Fight Pass acquisitions. So we've seen a lot of talent go back and forth between the UFC and Invicta. Probably the most noted one would be Cyborg herself. And yeah, it's great to see. Like when I spoke to Dan, he talked about how Fight Pass now is kind of gives people the blueprint to making their way to the UFC. If you can get on a Fight Pass show, then you're one step closer to getting on a UFC show.
Precisely. I mean, if you can make waves, if you can put your name out there on that's your springboard. Right? If you can do that, you know, Dana doesn't have to fly around to fucking 50 states and watch shows anymore. You know, that's smart. They just go like this. They put feeders out. They sign up this one, and then make some noise, man. Get on that bike, call someone out in the UFC, call someone out, you know, a champ, and get your name out there. Or just show your skills, you know, and fucking smash someone and get your name out there, and it makes waves, and it gets back to obviously the brass and.
Well, like they're always looking for talent, I assume, and another Kiwi that is now getting the chance to really showcase his talent in front of the UFC and the world, debuting August the 31st, the TUF 24 season Tournament of Champions, and someone who I'm a big fan of, someone who obviously you're a big fan of as well, and should have a lot of fans in New Zealand. Kai Kara France, don't blink.
Aye, don't blink, man. It's, you know what, you can't take too much away from it, but he's in New Zealand and it seems like he's on a victory tour, you know what I mean? He's like going around, you know, visiting everyone. Yeah, come and watch me and TUF, and he seems so positive and upbeat right now. I got a really good feeling, man. I saw a couple of posters. He's right at the front of those posters, which is cool because I remember Dylan used to be at the front of the posters. He made it to the fucking finals. Like, right. I got a really good feeling about Kai in this one, and we will be supporting him at the Kingslander or some shit somewhere.
Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. We'll be watching the very first TUF episode, and we'll try and get some words with him, and we'll see how we go.
Yeah, it's going to be a good night. If anyone's going along, leave us a comment below, and be good to catch up. Any fighters, like, hopefully it's going to be a bit of a who's who of New Zealand MMA. Like, obviously Kai is very popular. He's got a lot of friends, so who knows who we'll be able to catch up with. Might be able to have a bit of a chat with a lot of people.
Don't you think it's a bit like that, like a victory tour, bro? Almost like it's not like he just went straight home and fucking, you know.
Just hung out at home for like 2 days, like he's getting strong.
Yeah, not at all. He's going everywhere and talking. Well, he's going to see everyone he hasn't seen for a while. I guess he's been locked in a house for a month. So, but he looks very upbeat. Yeah.
No, he looks great. Like, you know, he looks great in the cage all the time. I've seen his breakdowns with Dan Hooker from Tiger Muay Thai from their time together in Thailand, and the dude just looks great. It's his time. It feels like it's his time. You know, it feels like it's the right time for Kai Kara France to really step out and make his mark in the UFC and in the world. And like you say, he does have a prominent place on those posters. And like, I don't see any other reason for him to have a prominent place. Also, if you look at the promo videos, he is only teased a bit in those promo videos. You know, he's not a huge part of them, which is something that I've noticed in the past. If you're a huge part of the teaser and promo videos, you're less likely to be a huge part of the season because they're trying to give you your airtime.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah. I saw him. He wasn't not much on there. The other thing is, worst case scenario, heaps of those guys get signed anyway. They need fresh talent in that division. So worst case, and I know he's gonna be in the final and he's gonna win. But worst case, he still gets a UFC contract. So you might as well say, Kai Kara France UFC fighter right now.
Yeah, well, you look, he's got so many strengths going from. He's young, he's talented, he's a New Zealander, and he is in the right division where they're looking to cherry pick talent. Like, you know, it's the only reason they've set up this tournament, and it's the reason that they're all champions. Joseph Benavidez spoke about it today. I saw an interview with him where he talks about the process. He actually mentioned that he was kind of gutted at first, and he was like a bit jealous and a bit yeah, bit pissed off at first. Like, he was thinking, so these dudes are actually going to get a title shot, and I've never heard of them, and you know, they're not even in the UFC. But then he embraced it and really saw it for the opportunity it is.
Yeah, that was today. I think I saw the same thing. He was talking that he got to coach. You know, the other question was, what's it like coaching this guys that could be fighting in your same division? You know, fighting you. And he said it was all a learning process. You know, it's all good. I can't hear you now.
Sorry, sounds like he had a chance to work on his game and hello. Like, I've done a bit of coaching myself in the past, and I know that a lot of people who have done coaching have spoken about how it gives you the chance to break down your own game, regardless of what that game, sport, whatever is. You, like, the simple act of you having to think from a novice's point of view again really helps you to deconstruct your own game. So that might be something that he found that he was able to do, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good opportunity for him to get his star out there on TV for free, you know, as well. You know, he's either going to be liked more or less, you know, depending on how he portrays himself. It's good for him.
I think a lot of people's most recent sort of memory of him is that that highlight reel against Mighty Mouse where he's getting caught on the jaw and then just finished on the ground. Like that, you know, for a lot of people, that's probably the most vivid image they have of Joseph Benavidez. Oh, there's a cat in the background.
Yeah, he's all right, mate. I think he married Megan Olivieri, so he's doing all right. You know, he's winning in one aspect of his life, and he'll be fine. What's going on over there?
Sorry, I just had to let a cat out. Yeah, no, that's right. Really, he's married to Megan Olivieri. Wow. We were actually talking today about the days when there was only two UFC girls, Ariane Celeste and Shondella.
Oh, and, Shondella, yeah.
Old Shondella. But yeah, she got the boot because she had like a bit of a sordid past doing some Playboy work. But yeah, we are way off topic.
She got ripped off there, but, you know, like, I think Ariane had just done Playboy, and then they kicked fucking Shondella out for doing the same thing, except in like a dirtier magazine. I don't know. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, and like 5 years beforehand. But yeah, back to action that's coming up. We got some UFC fights. We got Arlovsky versus Barnett, which is a great heavyweight fight. Thoughts?
I like both of these dudes. I like Josh Barnett. I like his ground game's really brutal, and this catch wrestling that he has. But what's his last loss? Let's have a look. Because Arlovsky is was on the bend, and then he's back down. So he lost to Ben Rothwell. I think Velocity takes it, mate. I think he touches Josh's chin and finishes him.
The only thing about Arlovsky is his chin is just made of whatever, made of cracked pepper. It's so weak. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, Josh Barnett, not a huge striker, but he is still a heavyweight, and he is a big heavyweight. Veteran, awesome grappler, as you've said, and it's a good one. It's one for the ages. Arlovsky, Barnett, both of them veterans, both long-time UFC competitors, and if Arlovsky can touch him, it could be over real quick. But same again, if Barnett can touch him, it'll be over real quick. And Barnett also has that grappling edge.
Yeah, I just checked Arlovsky's record. He's lost 2 now in a row. So, you might see that desperate pit bull, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah.
That's all.
Time is not on either of these guys' sides, so it could be a great fight. Heavyweight, hopefully it doesn't turn into a 15-match slumber.
Yeah, so that's this Sunday coming up. That's a free on Fox or FX, whatever.
Fight Pass, everybody.
Fight Pass, yeah. FX.
Fight Pass is one of my favorite fucking things in the world. Honestly, I remember before Fight Pass, it was like, do I really want to get Sky just so I can pay-per-view UFCs? There's a lot of illegal streaming going on before then. But
yeah, Fight Pass saved the day for me. It's a good thing, and I don't mind. I like my stuff in a good quality. I'm sick. I don't do streams anymore unless I absolutely have to, and I encourage everyone else to do the same, mate. You don't want to watch that shit. It's fucking buffering.
I've had Fight Pass basically since the beginning. As far as I know, of Fight Pass itself, and I think it's one of the greatest things there is. Just having all the streams, etc. I remember back in the day, it used to be like, do I really want to pay for Sky just so I can watch UFC pay-per-views? And yeah, having an alternative, like I've been an NBA League Pass, which is another digital subscriber for years now. So it's great that the UFC caught up.
Yeah, bro. I love Fight Pass. I'm a late bloomer, late starter to Fight Pass myself. I only started last year, like midway through, and which is pretty terrible for a big fan like me. But
there's a lot of alternatives in Aussie, though.
Eh? Yeah. I was an Aussie, and everyone has Fox, and I would I'll just scab their Fox. And actually, back then, I was just going to the pub every weekend and watching it. It was a bit different now. Got 2 kids, But yeah, the Fight Pass, man.
Yeah. That's when you did your Tahuna interview.
Oh, yeah. I was at the pub too, yeah.
Yeah, back in the day at the pub. Thought that guy was going to try and start a fight or something.
There was a drunk guy there. I think he was just more curious than anything else. Like, what was happening? What is this? Like, conversation?
What's going on?
Yeah, it was all right.
Why are you talking to this guy?
I don't think he was going to start anything with Jamie. That wasn't going to happen.
I remember one interesting thing from that fight for me was that he is not really a fight fan. Like he doesn't follow other fighters and stuff because he just doesn't really get into watching other fighters and watching fights and stuff.
Yeah, you'll be surprised how many guys that are like that. They get enough. It's the same with rugby players and all sorts of athletes. Some of them, they're just sick of it, sick to death of it, especially if they treat it like a job and not like their fucking destiny or whatever, you know what I mean?
It's kind of part of your job, isn't it? Watch other fights, to see techniques and stuff. Isn't it all kind of akin to watching footage? Like, it might not be specific footage, but what if you see some guy do some crazy shit and you're like, that's almost like something I do. Or, you see someone throw a buzzy combo that comes off the end of one of your combos, and all of these things could help you grow your game.
Yeah, that's another one where it's like almost a 50-50 split where fighter will not even care what that other person's doing. They won't study them at all. They're only concentrated on their own game and implementing that in the cage or wherever, they don't give a fuck what that other guy is good at, because he's good at what he wants to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like the old like there's a in the US they're big on like imposing your will, which is, you know, you could impose your will regardless of what he's going to do, is kind of like what they're going for. You know, it's who knows if it's the right way, because my thing is you always want to know as much as you can about your opponent. Doesn't matter what they're an opponent in, like online games, whatever, sports, whatever, board games. You want to know as much as you can about what your opponent is able to do to you. So, like for me, watching footage and stuff like that would have to be part of it.
Yeah, man, and yeah, it's like a split. When you talk to them, one will study their opponent every night. They'll have a picture of that guy on their fucking mirror every day. They look at this dude. Then you'll talk to another fighter, and they're like, "Nah, man, my coaches watch that maybe, and they teach me what I need to know. I don't have to think about this dude or whatever. I just concentrate on my own skills." It's quite interesting actually when you to hear them talk about it.
If you theoretically were a fighter, do you have an idea of which way you would lean?
I think I'd love to watch the other guy, because I'd be thinking of, I'd like to think out my own ways of how I'd beat that guy, but yeah, and I'd be thinking of, I could catch him here or there, or this might work here and there. But I guess, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I'd like to watch and study them.
Yeah, Dan Hooker raised an interesting point. He said now there is like a library of footage on people like Conor McGregor. You know, he just fought 25 minutes versus Nate Diaz, and if you want to go and sit down with your coaches, etc., and watch that, you have got all the information you need on where Conor McGregor is at right now.
Yeah, but yeah, totally. There's in this day and age, everything, mate. You can even fucking watch their, training videos and embedded and take something from that as well. But
it's like another double sword. It's like you're using all your star power, making money, getting extra content out, could work against you if your opponent is using those channels as a resource.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're quite, especially those top guys are quite smart at what they could. That's another aspect. They could be showing fucking something totally that's different. Right, but yeah, it's the old thing. Like sometimes what that opponent is bringing to the table, and you can't stop it anyway. Which is like them training that. Like the backpack. He knew the backpack was coming. But
everyone knew the Damian Maia backpack was on sale. But
he said in the after interview, he says, "Look, I've been training with someone on my back with high level jiu-jitsu practitioners, and I've been getting out, but it's Damian Maia. You know what I mean? Like this guy's trying to train against leg locks with Husama Palhares,
and then he still rips them apart. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. Like knowing all about your opponent and doing something about your opponent, again, they're not the same thing.
Yeah.
And you could Conor McGregor spent $300,000 to fly in, for his overall camp, $300,000. Like you could spend $300,000 and then you could still get tapped out on the second round. Because of a small facet of your training or a small facet of your style. Like Conor McGregor, his style itself is not, like I mentioned before the fight. It's not really built for 25 minutes, and he did incredibly well and impressed me to get through in good shape. And his takedown defense lasted for 24 minutes and 50 seconds. Which was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like Conor, I like his mindset. It's champion mindset. I printed out a picture today at work that I'm going to stick up on my wall. But the first thing I did actually when I got home was I read it to my son, and it goes something along the lines of, "There is no thing. There's no such thing as talent. Everything is hard work. If you want something, you can do it if you're obsessed with it and you work hard. And I tried to explain that to my son. I said, because he loves Connor, I said, look, these are Connor's words. 4 years ago he was on the fucking dole. You can be or do whatever the fuck you want to do if you work hard. And I tried to drill that into my son, and he actually asked me to keep that poster in his room, which I think is brilliant. And a lot of people, think he's all shit, but I mean, what he just said there, and a lot of people say it, but what he said is truth, man. You can do whatever you want. And I don't know what I'm going on. I don't know how I got to this tangent, but anyway, it's true.
Well, with Connor, if you take all of his hyperbole and his promotion out of what he says, the stuff that's left behind is great. A lot of that is great. He's talked it and walked it. Like there's no better example of someone who has talked everything and done everything, even just as we win or we learn. Like he lost to Diaz 4 months ago or whatever it was, and he learnt from that and he bounced back much stronger.
Yeah, exactly. If you take all the bullshit out, his message is quite clear. Yeah. If you want to be the best and know it in your heart or whatever, and just do it. And then the evolution I saw in his plan against Diaz in the second fight was evident from the get-go. He almost got caught in that third, but he had a different plan and it fucking worked. Everyone thought he was going to get done again, same way.
Yeah, that's because people discounted his ability to grow. I think people thought he was just going to rely on his left hand and flippy kicks and stuff like that. It's like, of course he's not. Like you could see from the get-go when he turned down the media for 200 that it wasn't the same Connor.
Aye, yeah, man. What's coming up after we got the heavyweight title fight?
This one, 203, one of my favorite fighters, Stipe Miocic from the land, Cleveland. What's up? The first person to bring a world championship in 51 years. Next person to do that was LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers less than a year later. What's up, Cavs? But yeah, awesome fight at home in Cleveland. Stipe Miocic, first defense of the title versus the Reem. I can't fucking wait.
What do you like about Stipe Miocic? What makes him one of your favorite fighters?
I love his story, and it was like 2 days after he won the title, he was back in Cleveland at the firehouse wearing his belt out in the traffic, waving at people and shit. Yeah, the guy he's like the salt of the earth. He is grassroots. Yep. He's like everything good about the American dream. Like, he is just good people.
He is very good people. Yeah. He still works as a fireman, even though he's the champion of the world. That's a great thing. I will be going for Alistair. I mean, I like his fight style, I guess, is the main thing I like about him. I know, obviously, he was cheating on whatever back in the day, and he's had to clean up his act. That's everyone knows that. I still like his fight style, his aggressive fight style. And I also like his confident attitude at all times. He's a world beater in his own mind at all times, and I think that's a great attitude to have. And I'm going for the Reem. I reckon TKO second round.
It's got to be TKO. Reem, obviously noted striker, dangerous guy. Another poster boy for we win or we learn. Like, he's had some tough fights, lost a lot of fights in the UFC, to be honest. Probably, what is he, almost 50-50 in the UFC right now for wins and losses. But his wins have been more impressive for him than his losses were detractive from him. He's kind of shown that his chin is not great, and at heavyweight that is always going to be a weakness, but his ability to grow and develop his game for MMA is something that I was impressed by. You know, you look at him now; he's a very careful, cautious striker, very measured. His cardio is through the roof now, from what we've been able to see. And yeah, I think he's a tough challenge for Stipe. I just love Stipe's heart and his workability, and he's shown he can knock anyone else out. That knockout of Verdun was just nasty, so I can't wait for it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, you can't argue that Stipe deserves it, and he's worked super hard to get there. The Reem also deserves it, but I mean, he came in super huge, jacked up, and demolished a couple of guys. Yeah, but then and then I think he was super confident. He got knocked out by Bigfoot, and then Travis. He was overconfident, and we've seen a new Reem now, which is why he's in the title shot right now. He's done really well lately, and yeah, I mean, it's a win for the fans, I guess. It's a great scrap.
Fairy tale for Reem if he wins. Fairy tale for Stipe if he defends as well. But for Reem, this would be a great sort of feather in his cap on a long combat career. I'd love to see him win, just not at the hands of Stipe.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't wait till he wins, and we get that photo with him in every belt that he's ever won, all over his body, like fucking. It'll look great. But Stipe, yeah, he definitely deserves to be champ at the moment.
Have you caught any of Reem's web series? He's on to like season 2 or 3 of his web series.
Dude, that dude sets the standard. If you're looking for a web series, man, go to thereem.com and watch that shit. He has the best guys doing his webisodes or whatever the fuck they're called. I don't think I'm up to date with all his shit. I'm waiting for a new one. There should have been a new one. Perhaps there will be just before this fight. I think there should. Yep. The last one was a while ago anyway.
He's a very active guy on social media, etc. He's got a great production thing going on, and yeah, I can't wait for that fight. Anything else you want to talk about?
No, not really, bro. Just hopefully we see a bit of a crew down at the Kingslander to support Kai.
This Thursday?
Yeah, this Thursday I'll be trying to catch up with... Who the fuck was it? Someone. I'll try and do a couple more interviews.
Brogan Anderson.
Brogan. Might talk to Brogan after his win. There was someone I can't remember right now. Sorry.
Oh, all good. Yeah, I'd love to see you guys there on Thursday. Come up and see us. And I believe Lucas is going to travel up from the Waikato, so that'll be nice as well. Hopefully there's a good turnout. It's going to be good just to see the preview anyway.
Yeah. Anyone coming up, that'd be great to meet and greet and see us. Also, anyone that has a fight coming up that we don't know about, just fucking post it on the page, man. Like we just love to let everyone know. Even talk to you, whatever. Just let us know.
If you want to get an interview, honestly, message Combat Sports NZ on Facebook.com/Combat Sports NZ. We'll talk to anyone, dude. Like we love talking to fighters. We're obviously big fans of the fight game, and it's something you can help get your name out there.
Yeah, it helps us, man. We're obviously still learning, and then these grassroots guys, it works for both of us. Let's do it. I just want everyone to know where you are fighting at, and let's get all those shows out there to as much as we can. I don't see anyone. So I hope no one hates me for this, but I don't see fucking no one else almost doing what we're trying to do with local fights. I know I might not be seeing all those gyms that are posting, but I mean we're trying to promote every single gym and every single fight night, and we just need more help with that knowledge. You just need to send us in that flyer or whatever, and we'll get it out there ASAP.
We will, honestly, we'll talk to anyone, we'll promote any gym. Just get at us, send us a message on the page, leave a comment below, and we'd love to talk to you guys and give you guys some airtime, because obviously the New Zealand media is still catching up when it comes to that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, sweet, bro. Much love. Always good to chat. I'll probably see you this week in person as well. That'll be mean.
Yeah, bro. I'll bring you some. I'll bring you a couple of posters for their wall, and we'll have a few beers at the Kingslander.
You don't like this? You don't like my Team Juggernaut?
No, that's massive. That's massive.
And my Echo Unlimited. Yeah, no, that'll be great. Get some more character up in the room. Bro, I'll see you on Thursday, if not before then. And thanks everybody for watching. I'll let you sign off.
Yeah, peace, JB. Thanks for having me, and thanks to anyone that's still listening. You know, we've been jabbering on for over an hour now, so if anyone's still listening and hears this, get at me and in the comments, because I'm going to give you a shout out. Cheers.